In a quiet little village surrounded by green fields and gentle rivers, there lived a poor young girl named Lily. She had no parents, no brothers, and no sisters. The world was often unkind to her, but she never allowed sadness to change her gentle heart. Every morning she greeted the sunrise with hope that tomorrow would be better. The family living in the house had everything they could ever want. Their tables were always filled with warm bread, sweet fruits, fresh milk, and delicious meals. Yet Lily usually ate only the leftovers after everyone else had finished. Still, she whispered a quiet thank you before every meal. The other servants often wondered why Lily smiled so much. Life had given her so little, yet she greeted every person with kindness. She believed that kindness was a treasure no one could ever steal. One cool autumn morning, the wind blew softly through the village. Golden leaves floated slowly across the ground. Dark clouds quietly gathered above the fields. It felt as though something important was about to happen. Inside the large house, everyone hurried from room to room. The owner seemed unusually angry that morning. Even the smallest mistake could bring trouble. The servants worked silently, hoping to avoid his temper. While cleaning the dining room, Lily carefully carried a beautiful clay cup. Her hands were tired after hours of work. Suddenly, the cup slipped from her fingers. It fell to the floor and broke into many small pieces. The loud sound echoed through the house. Within seconds, the owner rushed into the room. His face turned bright red with anger. His voice frightened everyone nearby. "You careless girl," he shouted. "That cup was expensive. I don't want excuses. Leave my house at once." Lily quietly lowered her head. "I'm truly sorry," she whispered softly. "It was an accident. I never wanted to break it." But the owner refused to listen. His decision had already been made. No one spoke in Lily's defense. The room became painfully silent. Lily walked to her tiny room. Everything she owned fit inside one old cloth bag. There were no beautiful dresses, no money, no jewelry, and no precious belongings. She folded her old blanket with care. She packed her wooden comb. She picked up one small loaf of bread. It was the only food she had left. Standing at the doorway, Lily looked back one last time. She had spent many years working inside this house. Now she was leaving with almost nothing. Yet she carried no hatred in her heart. The wooden gate slowly closed behind her. She was completely alone. A gentle breeze touched her face. She quietly began walking toward the unknown. The village road stretched far into the distance. Small birds sang from the trees. Golden sunlight covered the fields. Nature remained peaceful despite Lily's worries. After walking for many hours, her feet became tired. Her stomach growled with hunger. She gently held the loaf of bread close to her chest. It was her only hope for the day. The afternoon slowly turned into evening. The sky became orange and pink. The cool breeze carried the sweet smell of wildflowers. Everything around her felt calm and quiet. Soon she reached a peaceful little pond. Tall trees stood around the clear water. Tiny ripples reflected the colorful evening sky. It looked like the perfect place to rest. Lily sat beneath a large old oak tree. She placed her small cloth bag beside her. Slowly, she took out the loaf of bread. Her hands trembled slightly with hunger. She smiled softly at the simple meal. "It may not be much," she whispered, "but today, this little bread is enough." She thanked life for even this small blessing. Just as she lifted the bread toward her mouth, A quiet sound came from the nearby pond. Honk. Then another gentle cry echoed through the evening air. Lily slowly turned around. Standing near the water was a beautiful white goose. Its feathers looked dusty. Its eyes were gentle, but filled with hunger. The goose slowly walked toward Lily. It looked at the bread in her hands. It did not make any loud noise. It simply waited with quiet hope. Lily looked at the hungry goose. Then she looked down at her only piece of bread. She knew she had a difficult choice to make. Little did she know, this single moment would change her life forever. For a few quiet moments, Lily sat without moving. Her stomach was empty, and the bread was all she had. The little goose continued looking at her with gentle eyes. It seemed too weak to search for food on its own. Lily took a slow, deep breath. "If I eat this bread, I will survive today," she whispered. "But if I share it, perhaps this little creature will survive too." Her heart already knew the answer. With a warm smile, Lily broke the bread into small pieces. She gently placed them on the soft green grass. The goose slowly stepped closer. Then it happily began eating every tiny crumb. Lily watched quietly. Even though she was still hungry, her heart felt strangely full. Helping someone in need brought her a peaceful happiness. It was a feeling that no amount of money could buy. When the goose finished eating, it looked up at Lily. It softly flapped its white wings. Then it gently rubbed its head against her hand. It was a silent way of saying, "Thank you." The evening became calm and peaceful. The last golden rays of sunlight touched the quiet pond. Tiny birds returned to their nests. The cool breeze carried the sweet scent of wildflowers. Lily rested beneath the old oak tree. The little goose quietly curled up beside her. For the first time that day, she did not feel completely alone. She smiled before closing her eyes. During the night, the stars filled the dark sky. The moon reflected softly upon the still water. Everything around them felt safe and peaceful. The goose never left Lily's side. As morning arrived, warm sunlight gently touched Lily's face. She slowly opened her eyes. The little goose was still beside her. It greeted her with a cheerful little honk. Lily laughed softly. "Good morning, my little friend." The goose happily wagged its tail. It seemed excited to begin a brand new day. After washing her face in the clear pond, Lily prepared to continue her journey. She picked up her small cloth bag. As she began walking, she noticed something behind her. The goose was following every step she took. Lily stopped and turned around. "You don't have to come with me," she said gently. But the goose simply looked at her. Then it took another small step closer. Lily smiled. "Well then, I guess we're traveling together." The goose happily flapped its wings. From that moment, they became true friends. They walked slowly through green fields and quiet forest paths. Butterflies danced among colorful flowers. The morning air felt fresh and peaceful. The world seemed much brighter than before. As they walked, Lily spoke kindly to the goose. She shared stories about her childhood. She spoke about her dreams. The goose quietly listened as if it understood every word. By afternoon, they reached another peaceful meadow. There was fresh grass and a small stream nearby. It seemed like the perfect place to rest. The goose happily wandered around the field. Lily sat beneath a shady tree. Although she had no food, she never complained. She simply watched the clouds drifting across the blue sky. Peace slowly filled her heart. Suddenly, the goose walked toward her. It looked unusually excited. It gently called out with a happy little honk. Then it sat down beside her. To Lily's surprise, there, beneath the goose, was a beautiful fresh egg. She blinked several times. She could hardly believe what she was seeing. The goose proudly looked at Lily. It seemed almost happy to offer its gift. Lily carefully picked up the egg with both hands. Her eyes filled with grateful tears. "This is amazing," she whispered. "You have given me hope." She gently thanked the goose. The little bird happily rubbed against her shoulder. The next morning, Lily carried the egg to the nearby village market. The market was busy with smiling people. Farmers sold vegetables, fruit, bread, and milk. The smell of fresh food filled the air. A kind old shopkeeper noticed the beautiful egg. He smiled warmly. "I'll gladly buy this," he said. He offered Lily a fair price. For the first time in many days, Lily held a few silver coins in her hand. They were not many, but to her, they felt like a new beginning. She thanked the shopkeeper with all her heart. Instead of spending the money on herself alone, Lily made a wise decision. She bought a healthy young chicken from the market. As she walked home with her new chicken and her loyal goose beside her, she had no idea that this small choice would change her future forever. Lily gently carried the young chicken in her arms. The white goose happily walked beside her. As the sun slowly set, the three friends searched for a safe place to spend the night. Lily felt hopeful for the first time in many days. Near a quiet meadow, Lily found a small, abandoned wooden hut. It was old and simple, but it kept out the cold wind. She carefully cleaned the little shelter. Soon it began to feel like a tiny home. Every morning, Lily collected fresh water from a nearby stream. She gathered wild seeds and grass for the chicken and the goose. Before eating anything herself, she always fed her two little friends first. Their happiness brought peace to her heart. Days passed quietly. The chicken grew healthy and strong. One beautiful morning, Lily found a fresh egg resting in a small nest. She smiled with gratitude. Now both the goose and the chicken were laying eggs. Every few days, Lily carried them carefully to the village market. The shopkeepers began recognizing her. They admired her honesty and kindness. Lily never asked for more money than her eggs were worth. She believed honesty was more valuable than gold. Because of that, everyone trusted her. Customers always returned to buy from her. Little by little, the silver coins began to grow. Lily kept them safely inside a small wooden box. She never spent money carelessly. Every coin had a purpose. One day, after many weeks of saving, Lily bought another chicken. Now she had 2 chickens and 1 loyal goose. The small family was slowly growing. Her heart was filled with hope. The seasons slowly changed. Spring covered the fields with colorful flowers. Warm sunshine filled each morning. Birds sang cheerful songs from the trees. Soon, both chickens began laying eggs. The goose continued giving Lily beautiful eggs as well. Every week, she sold them at the market. Her little business became stronger. The villagers smiled whenever Lily arrived. They admired her gentle voice. They respected her hard work. Many people quietly wished her success. One elderly farmer watched Lily carefully. He saw how lovingly she cared for her animals. He smiled and said, "Kindness always grows into something wonderful." Lily thanked the old farmer warmly. His words stayed in her heart. Whenever life became difficult, she remembered them. They gave her courage to keep moving forward. Months passed peacefully. The wooden box became heavier with silver coins. One evening, Lily counted her savings. She smiled with quiet excitement. The next morning, she visited the village market again. This time, she made a bigger decision. She bought 2 young goats. The villagers congratulated her. The little goats were playful and full of energy. They happily followed Lily home. The goose walked proudly in front. The chickens clucked happily behind them. Every day, Lily cared for all her animals with love. She made sure they had clean water. Fresh grass was always waiting for them. She treated every animal like family. As time passed, the goats became healthy adults. Soon they had baby goats of their own. Lily carefully sold a few of them at the market. Her savings grew even faster. Still, Lily lived simply. She never bought expensive clothes. She never wasted food. She remained grateful for every blessing. One peaceful evening, Lily sat beneath the old oak tree. The white goose rested beside her. She gently stroked its soft feathers. Without the goose, none of this would have been possible. The stars slowly appeared above them. The cool night breeze whispered through the trees. Lily quietly thanked God for every small blessing. Her heart was filled with peace. The next morning, Lily looked across the green fields. She dreamed of owning a small farm one day. It seemed impossible once. Now it felt within reach. She continued working every single day. There were no shortcuts, only patience, honesty, and kindness. Those became the foundation of her success. With every sunrise, her little farm became stronger. More eggs were sold. More animals were born. More hope filled her life. Another peaceful year quietly passed. Lily continued working from sunrise until sunset. Every day, she cared for her animals with love and patience. Her little farm slowly became larger. One bright spring morning, Lily opened her small wooden box. She counted every silver coin carefully. After years of saving, she finally had enough money. It was time to make another important decision. She walked to the village market with a joyful heart. After speaking with a kind farmer, she bought a healthy young cow. The beautiful cow had soft brown fur and gentle eyes. Lily smiled with gratitude. The villagers gathered around to congratulate her. Many remembered the poor girl who once had nothing. Now they watched her dreams slowly come true. Everyone admired her determination. The cow soon began producing fresh milk every day. Lily sold the milk, butter, and homemade cheese at the market. People loved the quality of her products. Her business became more successful than ever. As the months passed, Lily bought another cow, then another. Her farm became filled with healthy animals. The fields looked greener than ever before. The chickens wandered happily around the yard. The goats played near the wooden fence. The cows grazed peacefully across the open meadow, and the faithful white goose remained beside Lily every day. Lily never forgot where her journey had begun. She often remembered the lonely evening beside the pond. She remembered the single piece of bread and the hungry little goose who had changed everything. One afternoon, Lily built a beautiful new barn. It protected all of her animals from rain and cold weather. She wanted every living creature to feel safe. Her kindness touched everything around her. The abandoned wooden hut was no longer enough. Using her savings, Lily built a simple but beautiful farmhouse. It was surrounded by flowers, fruit trees, and green fields. It felt warm, peaceful, and welcoming. Every morning, birds sang outside her windows. Sunlight filled every room with warmth. Fresh flowers bloomed in the garden. The farm became one of the most beautiful places in the village. Travelers passing through often stopped to admire the farm. Many asked Lily how she had become so successful. She always answered with a gentle smile. The journey began with kindness. Years continued to pass. The farm became larger with every season. More fields were planted. More fruit trees filled the countryside. Lily hired several poor villagers to work on her farm. She paid them fairly. She treated everyone with kindness and respect. People loved working beside her. No one was ever treated unfairly. Lily remembered how painful it felt to be poor. She promised herself that no worker would ever suffer as she once had. Everyone felt valued. The white goose had grown older. Its feathers were still bright and beautiful. Every evening it walked beside Lily through the peaceful fields. Their friendship remained as strong as ever. Sometimes Lily sat quietly beside the pond where they had first met. She smiled while watching the gentle ripples across the water, her heart filled with gratitude. She never forgot that special day. The villagers began calling Lily the kindest woman in the valley. Children waved whenever they saw her. Elderly people blessed her with warm smiles. She was loved by everyone. Although she had become wealthy, Lily never wore expensive jewelry. She still dressed simply. She believed a beautiful heart was worth far more than beautiful clothes. Humility became her greatest treasure. Every evening, she thanked God for everything she had received. Not for the money, not for the farm, but for the chance to help others. As the stars filled the night sky, Lily walked slowly across her peaceful land. The cool breeze gently touched her face. The animals rested quietly. Everything felt calm and safe. She looked toward the old white goose. The goose gently flapped its wings. Lily softly smiled. Their friendship had become a miracle. She whispered, "Thank you, my dear friend. If I had kept that piece of bread for myself, my life might have been very different." The goose quietly rested beside her feet. The moonlight covered the peaceful farm. It felt as though the whole world had become silent. Only gratitude remained. Lily knew that true happiness did not come from wealth alone. It came from kindness, patience, and a generous heart. And she promised herself that she would spend the rest of her life helping others. Although Lily had become one of the wealthiest people in the village, she never forgot the difficult days of her past. She remembered every moment of hunger and every lonely night beneath the old oak tree. Whenever she saw someone struggling, she quietly offered a helping hand. She never asked for anything in return. Helping others became the greatest joy of her life. Every week, Lily prepared baskets filled with fresh bread, milk, vegetables, fruit, and cheese. She delivered them to poor families before sunrise, without telling anyone who had sent them. Many families woke up to find food waiting outside their doors. No one knew who the kind helper was, but every family whispered a prayer of gratitude. Lily simply smiled from afar. One afternoon, Lily met a little boy sitting alone beside the road. His clothes were old, and he held a broken school book in his hands. His dream was to learn, but his family had no money. Lily gently sat beside him. She listened carefully to his story. Then she smiled warmly and said, "Every child deserves the chance to learn." That evening, Lily made an important decision. She would build a small school where poor children could study for free. Within a few months, The little school was ready. It was simple, but it was filled with hope and laughter. Children from every corner of the village came to learn. Some had never held a book before. Others had never written their own names. Every child was welcomed with kindness. Lily often visited the classroom herself. She read beautiful stories, taught honesty and compassion, and encouraged every child to believe in their dreams. The children loved listening to her gentle voice. They smiled whenever she arrived. To them, Lily was more than a teacher. She also helped elderly people, widows, and anyone who was sick or lonely. Her kindness reached every corner of the village. Years passed peacefully. The village became happier than ever before. People helped one another. Following Lily's wonderful example, the white goose grew old beside Lily. Its feathers turned softer with age, but it still followed her everywhere, just as it had on the very first day. Every evening, Lily and the old goose walked together beside the quiet pond. The water reflected the golden colors of the sunset. The gentle breeze carried peaceful silence. Sometimes Lily smiled as she remembered the single piece of bread she had shared long ago. That one small choice had changed everything. She realized something important. Kindness always finds its way back, sometimes in ways we never expect. It is the greatest treasure of all. Travelers came from distant villages to hear Lily's inspiring story. Many left with hope in their hearts, determined to live with more kindness. One traveler asked, "What is the greatest secret of your success?" Lily smiled gently, then looked toward the old white goose. "My success did not begin with money," she answered softly. "It began with one small act of kindness, shared with a hungry friend." The traveler nodded with admiration. He understood that true wealth could never be measured by gold. It lives inside a generous heart. As the stars slowly appeared above the peaceful village, children laughed outside the little school. Birds rested quietly in the trees, and the farm became completely still. Lily closed her eyes for a moment and whispered a prayer of gratitude. She felt thankful for every blessing life had given her. Beside her, the old white goose rested peacefully. Its gentle eyes sparkled in the moonlight. Their friendship had become a beautiful memory that would live forever. And so, the story of Lily and the grateful goose was passed from one generation to the next, reminding everyone that one simple act of kindness can change a life forever. The end.